Well, this little video clip that I'm playing again on my little computer here, this is kind of where it all started for me with Ernie. This was in November of 2013, and Ernie had asked me to come to court, and I decided to bring my camera, and I went into the courtroom earlier and asked the judge for permission to film in her courtroom. She said yes, and I shot this video, and it went viral. It has now more than 10 million views on YouTube. A lot of those are coming out of the United Kingdom, a lot of those views. But this was kind of what kicked things off, was even though I had known Ernie for several years, I had not been very close to him, and I really didn't care for a lot of his, what I would call far-fetched notions about the legal system and judiciary and the court system or whatever. I'm a busy guy, and I didn't have a lot of time to worry about all of that, especially the way he presented it to me. At any rate, Ernie persisted and finally got me up to a point of interest in which I decided, well, you know, maybe I ought to just start documenting what this guy is doing, whether I am one of his followers or not. He is colorful, he's animated, he's interesting, he's creative, he is studied like crazy, and I'm not 100% sure about all of his resources, but he hits the books real heavy, and he thinks, and he's got a real clear, sharp mind. He is a country boy, he's a Montanan, he's rough around the edges, he's used to surviving there in Montana. And as I've said on my website, his voice is like speaking thunder to tall mountains. So, any rate, let's close that video and get back over somewhere else here. Back on my website at the Ernie Movie Project page is this trailer. It's a 6-minute trailer. And of interest, this trailer was put together by a mental militia guy who's a friend of mine. His name is Adam. And he has a partner named Greg. And the two of them took a lot of my footage, went through it, and created a 6-minute trailer that we hoped would generate donations from the internet that would help us finance the creation of a movie documenting Ernie's life and times. So they did a real good job with that, and I would like to, let's turn off the Buddhist over here for a minute, and we're going to play you the opening of this 6-minute trailer. Just the opening. I think it's about 2 minutes or something. And you can see the kind of video work that these guys do. They're down in Los Angeles. And excellent members in the mental militia. So let's pop that baby. Come on here. Okay, enough of that. Now, what I'm going to do here is refresh that page real quickly, and then we're going to go down the page just briefly, and I'm going to tell you about what happened because Adam and Greg made that movie. But I did a little write-up on Ernie about the countryside and where we live in northwest Montana, the natural life, the problems of rural living in one of the more, well, it's the most remote county in Montana. It's just, there's a way of life that goes up here, and it's just different than what a lot of Americans know in their city environments. So this little video here is on that same page. That is video I shot of Ernie making a 400-mile trip in his van, which is that white vehicle through my windshield up there in front of me. And he was riding back to Eureka from down the Three Forks area with a van that had homemade license plates, and he had no driver's license. And that video is actually worth seeing. I think it's about 7 minutes. But I'm just talking to myself while filming Ernie running up the highway in Montana on a 400-mile trip during which we had no interference with any law enforcement whatsoever. A very interesting experience, and I will say something else about that in just a minute. But I've known Ernie now as neighbors. We have been neighbors for over 4 years. And we both live on the same hilltop in the forest, miles out of town, west of Eureka, Montana, in the middle of nowhere. This little picture I've dubbed to be the scene of the crime. This was a picture, a still that I captured from the Three Forks Police Department dash cam that was filmed the day they arrested Ernie for fishing without a license. And so I'm calling this the scene of the crime. And that's what started Ernie's fight and plight to oppose what he considers to be injustice in the justice system. So, but back to the video up top. Let me turn on some drama music here again real quick. And again, I apologize for not being very professional, but I'm just trying to talk openly and share with you people just the way crazy old Elias is when I'm sitting here being myself in my little cabin. So we made this 6-minute trailer. The next thing I know, somebody from Lionsgate Studios in Los Angeles saw this thing and contacted me through my website. We had a 2-hour phone conversation with Lionsgate. They wanted to contract us, Ernie and me both, to look into the possibilities of doing a TV series. And it's mostly Ernie they're interested in. I'm a pretty boring old guy, but Ernie is a live wire kind of character and a very efflorescent personality. And like I said, he's a very animated, creative, and colorful guy. But after negotiating with them for, I don't know, a couple of weeks or so, back and forth with their legal department, we ended up with a contract with Lionsgate. But a year went by and they asked if we would extend that contract, but they still weren't ready. They still didn't have a network that would agree to air the series, even though Lionsgate wanted to make the series. So that actually never came to anything, and my movie is still sitting here. All I've got is a trailer, but I've got tons of footage. I've got more than, I believe it's more than 100 videos of Ernie on my YouTube channel, and more that is not on my channel. Uh, some of it is very good stuff, very interesting, and a lot of it's just really wild and crazy. It's way out there. It's alien sounding to a lot of people. It's alien sounding to me quite often. But Ernie has a way of digging up yet more crazy, colorful stuff to think and say and to communicate. And so he is an item of interest for this old man. I'm just finding that apparently my calling in life right now, as well as going back into jewelry work, is also to document or become the chronicler for Ernie and the life and times of Ernie. And I don't know if anything will ever come of it or not, but I can tell you this. There's never a dull moment when you're Ernie Tertelka's neighbor. That man has had me into more courtrooms, and I really don't like going to courtrooms, but he's had me in a lot of courtrooms in the past 4.5 years. Uh, so let me advise or offer this suggestion. I've got a series of articles called the Ernie Chronicles that I have started. I've got 2 installments of that posted now. They are at the Mental Militia website, and you can get there by going to articles and information and clicking that, and then scroll down for those. All of my archives are findable at articles and information on my website. Okay, so but here is the first installment. Nope, that's the second. Let's go to the first installment, which is published at Readout News. By Sherry Diwali is a dear friend, and I meet her from time to time at various public events, and I've known her quite a while. And her best buddy Brett, who keeps her operating, he works so she can cover all this political stuff. Uh, any rate, she wanted to carry this series, and so she has exclusive rights on the series. But as you can see, the first article was called Fishing Without a License. The second installment is called Getting to Know Ernie. Okay? And what I would recommend is anybody who wants to know more about me and my friendship with Ernie should go to the Readout News. Every week there will be a new installment on this series, and you can keep up with them, and I would recommend even downloading them or download the links or whatever, because you're going to get the full story about this man, Ernie Wayne Tertelka. Okay? Let's see, is there anything else I should say about that? Yeah, but I'm going to take a break, and we will come back and talk a little bit more. Thank you.